LeBron's second weakness is that he's an inconsistent defender.
Alright, nah. What if Brian?
I think this cat.
Okay, I agree.
This cat.
As far as defense, you can, and they play him in a Lakers jersey.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. They just put him in a Lakers jersey.
Yeah,
because if you brought up Michael Jordan in the Wizards jersey,
that's
which
true.
dude don't want to bring up.
Yeah, the thing is they can't. The thing I don't think Michael Jordan never did that in the league.
Real talk grinding, yeah we shining. We ain't lying, yeah we rising to the top, man. We grinding real hard, no layoffs. Going hard like LeBron to playoff. Let me tell you real talk from the takeoff. We be turned to the man, can't you see it? Young black kings trying to succeed, love my team. Merch cheesy, definitely RTTV. Real Talk TV. We stay the same, we stay the same, we stay the same. Real Talk TV. We ain't gon' change, you ain't gon' change, you ain't gon' change. Real Talk TV. It's part of the game, it's part of the game, it's part of the game. Real Talk TV.
YouTube is Real Talk TV. Man, we back with another video, man. Y'all, this is another NBA video. This is Jordan versus LeBron, the best GOAT comparison. So, man, let's see what this video headed for. Y'all let us know in the comments who y'all think is better all time, LeBron or Jordan. Make sure y'all like this video before it starts. Subscribe to the channel, man. Let's get it.
Nah, niggas are literally running away.
Yeah,
I just watched somebody run away.
That's Atlanta. Oh my God, that's Atlanta.
I ain't gonna lie, LeBron different.
He different. I can't lie.
That nigga different though. Like he can actually like Jordan good, but like Bron like
I remember that block, bro.
Bron like strong.
Yeah, freight train.
Yeah, that nigga like different. I know that both of them prime. Like Jordan was like a I don't know, but Bron was different, bro. Because young Bron was way like
Jordan versus LeBron.
he got like 5 different
LeBron
runs. It's like
versus
5
Jordan.
different runs. Like you know, like it's like 10 different runs.
Several years.
Like he different. That's what I'm saying.
Especially
Like Bron
after
is
this moment
different.
in
Like that's what I'm saying. I can't like
when LeBron James beat the
grasp
Golden
it
State
because he's a
Warriors to
billionaire
win
now.
the third
Billionaire
championship
Bron.
of his career.
Like what the
In LeBron's own words,
That one right there made me the greatest player of all time. That's what I felt. I was like, that one right there made you the greatest player of all time.
but did it? Is everything since that moment simply icing on LeBron's cake?
How'd they time that with that? Did it?
Alright, bro.
But did it? Is everything since that moment simply icing on LeBron's cake? Or is LeBron destined to finish his career in Michael Jordan's shadow? We've all heard the arguments from LeBron supporters
He's bigger, he's stronger, he's faster, he's more durable.
and from Jordan supporters.
Right.
Michael Jordan was merely 6-0 with 6 MVPs in the finals.
But the GOAT debate
God
isn't as
almighty.
simple as the pundits make it seem. There are a number of factors relevant in determining the greatest basketball player of all time. In fact, I would say there are 5 things that really matter when determining the GOAT of any sport. These criteria are, in no particular order, accomplishments, longevity, winning, statistics, and what we'll refer to in this video as the eye test. And to be the GOAT, you don't need to be the best in any specific category, but you need to be pretty good across the board. So simply winning 7 championships, like Robert Horry did, isn't enough to get you into the conversation.
Yeah, that's not gonna be enough.
When we're finished with this video, it'll be plainly obvious that one guy comes out on top. But before we get started, I want to clarify that this is not a comparison of legacies. It's about who was the better basketball player. If we were talking about legacies, Jordan's is nearly untouchable. Not only did he lead basketball to global popularity, he helped transform Nike into an empire, changed the way players played and how they dressed, and he even made it cool for guys to be bald. And while those things certainly contribute to MJ's iconic status,
I ain't do
they
that.
don't make him a better player on the court. So let's evaluate the criteria that matter.
Don't say
And
that.
we'll start with individual accomplishments.
Yeah, when niggas go ball, we don't think about Michael Jordan.
Yeah, when nigga was like, oh my god, he got the
I
Michael
feel
Jordan
bad
style.
for him. I feel bad.
Yeah, I feel bad.
It's
Like,
laughable.
Damn, they got him.
It's laughable. Like,
Hair loss got him.
it's laughable.
it's
Take a
laughable. It's laughable.
MVP.
Jordan had more regular season MVPs, twice as many finals MVPs, 9 more scoring titles.
If they gonna
And
put
several-
NBA All Defense, they gotta put NBA All Teams too, like first team, second team.
Definitely. Yeah, NBA All, that's kind of biased.
Several more selections to the
It's
MVP.
bias already. I can see it, bro.
He's all-defensive team, including once being named Defensive Player of the Year. LeBron has more All-Star appearances,
See, the
but
thing
that's
is,
largely
like-
due to his having played more seasons.
They pick.
In
like,
fact, when
why don't
taking
you
into
just-
account
like, they just
retirements
pick-
and major
they
injuries,
just pick the
Jordan essentially played 13 seasons compared to 17 seasons for LeBron, making Jordan's significant lead in accomplishments all the more impressive. And that's to say nothing of MJ's brilliant college career, which saw him twice named All-American and once awarded College Player of the Year, at a time when the country's best players actually went to college. So regardless of whether you're a LeBron fan or MJ fan, you have to give the accomplishments checkmark to Jordan. The second criteria in our GOAT analysis is longevity. And this one is also a no-brainer, but this time in favor of LeBron. Not only has LeBron played more seasons in the league, but he's had a longer peak than Jordan. Jordan's peak lasted about 10 years, whereas LeBron's peak has lasted 16 years and is still going. And he's been incredibly durable during that time, missing significant time to injury only in 2019. That said, the claim that LeBron has been much more durable than Michael has been a bit overblown. Consider that Jordan played in at least 80 regular season games 11
Well, I want
times
to
in
say
his career.
longevity. They should make it like prime. Who had a longer prime? Like,
Okay.
instead of long, because Duncan got longevity, but how long was this nigga prime?
Including all
I mean, because
82 games
Brown
of
is so
incredible.
hard to determine. When is his prime? Like,
Because he's still going.
I would say his prime over though.
LeBron prime over?
Yeah.
I mean, he just averaged 30 last year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I think his prime over. Like
I know what you're talking about, like his prime, but at the same time,
Like when LeBron used to come on the court, like okay, it's finna be some, it's finna be,
I know
it's
what you're
finna,
saying. I know what you're talking
some
about.
chaos finna be caused.
Okay, that's prime. Okay,
Yeah.
that is
He
prime.
finna lock your best player up. He gonna win this game.
But now
I
you see
think
LeBron
end
like,
of
oh my
season
god,
stats this year will
LeBron.
determine it.
huh?
I think end of season stats this year will determine
If his prime is over,
it. Yeah.
he gonna average 22, 23.
I don't think Brown averaged 20.
I mean, even 25. If he averaged 25, that ain't LeBron we know though. That's an average person. That's good for an average person. But for LeBron James,
Yeah, that's not the
9
LeBron
times.
we know.
yeah, that's how I said his LeBron's
you're
prime
right.
is over. For a normal person,
Yeah,
no.
LeBron's prime.
LeBron.
I
James
can't
is
say that it's over. I can't say that though because like that's just not.
I mean, he not over his prime. Over his prime is his.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think definitely.
Times.
Yeah.
Compare that to LeBron, who played in at least 80 regular season games just twice, and in all 82 games
He's
just
the last
once.
goat.
So both LeBron
Yeah,
and Jordan
that's why I
get
can't
high
say
marks
that
for their
because-
durability. But durability aside,
one.
the bottom
I don't see
line is
nobody
that
else right
LeBron
now.
has sustained his level of excellence for a much longer period of time than
I
Jordan,
don't see
which
nobody else
puts the
that
longevity
bring that much of an
checkmark
impact on
squarely
the
in
court
LeBron's
right now.
corner.
Giannis, but I don't think he one of them. He can't shoot.
Man, I don't think you got to be able to shoot.
That brings us to the third
Shaq
GOAT
can
criteria, winning. As we all know, Jordan won 6
But he played with
championships.
Kobe, though.
LeBron has won 3.
Yeah.
Jordan is 6-0 in the NBA Finals. LeBron is 3-6.
And he was in
Yes,
conversation
LeBron
with
has
Michael
made the
Jordan
finals
Love,
9
and then
times
he was
compared to
big,
only 6
and then
times
he
for
came back,
Jordan.
and then he just-
But let's not pretend that making the finals is the same thing, or even close to the same thing, as winning a title. Take a prime example from another sport, the Buffalo Bills. They're the only team in NFL history to appear in 4 consecutive Super Bowls. But is there a single player or fan of that team that wouldn't trade all 4 of those appearances for just 1 Super Bowl win? Frankly, talk to any fan whose team lost the season's final game and ask them how they felt afterward.
Sick.
Almost universally, their feelings are of sadness, anger, and disappointment.
Bro, he's sick.
And that's just the fans. For players, those feelings are only magnified. Listen to Charles Barkley talk about losing in the NBA Finals.
And I was just in shock when it was over because
Sick.
I had to, I was frustrated because I couldn't wheel my team past Michael and the Bulls. And it, first of all, I don't think I've ever gotten over it. number one.
Oh yeah, you're right.
But
you never get over
that was traumatic, and it's
That's
just
the fun.
it's
You
painful.
really worked your way all the
So
way
we can
to
all
lose.
stop with this false equivalence between winning the championship and finishing
against like the
runner-up.
best player ever.
In the words of Herm
he's
Edwards,
like, I just can't. Like, you the best player. You the best player. They talking to you.
Hello? You play to win the game.
now back to
that
Jordan
nigga's
and
angry.
LeBron.
That's angry man.
As mentioned, on basketball's biggest stage,
You
the
play
NBA
to
Finals,
win the
Jordan was
game.
6-0. LeBron was 3-6. And frankly, that doesn't even show how lopsided their records really are. In terms of individual finals games, Jordan was 24-11. LeBron is 18-31. And that's because in 4 of his 6 finals losses, LeBron's team hasn't even been competitive. Twice he got swept, and 2 other times he lost 4-1. That includes being on the wrong side of the 2 most lopsided finals by margin of loss in NBA history. Of course, LeBron fans will tell you that the only reason for LeBron's poor finals record is that his competition was so tough. Ironically, some of these same fans criticized Jordan for losing early in his career to a Celtics team stacked with 5 Hall of Famers, and they conveniently gloss over the fact that LeBron reached the finals so many times in part because the competition in his own conference was so weak. During the vast majority of his career, LeBron played in what many dubbed the Eastern Conference because the East was so much weaker than the West. On the other hand, during Jordan's playing days, the East was generally considered the stronger conference, as Jordan had to battle through hard-fought rivalries against the Bad Boy Pistons, Patrick Ewing's Knicks, the Shaq Penny-led Magic, and Reggie Miller's Pacers. That said, if you want to blame LeBron's failure in the finals on the level of his competition, I won't argue with you. But let's also not blow it out of proportion. If you look at the average number of wins of their finals opponents, you'll see that LeBron's finals opponents averaged 60.8 wins per season, whereas Jordan's finals opponents averaged 61.2 wins per season. So as it turns out, both players faced stiff competition in the finals. But a big reason we don't hold the 93 Suns, the 96 Sonics, or the 98 Jazz in the same regard as some of LeBron's finals opponents is because, unlike LeBron's adversaries, Jordan's opponents never actually won the Larry O'Brien Trophy. Which goes to my original point, that the difference between winning the title and finishing runner-up is huge. And the reason those teams never won the title? This guy. Look, I'm not trying to say that Jordan's opponents were as good as the Warriors teams that LeBron faced 4 times in the finals. The truth is that Jordan never played a juggernaut quite like that. But there's a pretty good reason for that. Jordan's Bulls were the juggernaut. They were the team winning 70-plus games. They were the team with the target on their back every year. And as the Warriors showed us, that's not an easy place to be. As great as the Warriors were, they were never able to string together 3 consecutive championships. Jordan's Bulls did it twice. So what's the greater achievement? Beating the juggernaut or being the juggernaut?
Okay.
Or to be more specific, beating the juggernaut 1 time out of the 4 times he faced them? Or being the juggernaut year after year after year? And then doing it again year after year after year. There's no doubt that LeBron's victory over the 73-win Warriors was the highlight of his career. But it's not the first time that an underdog has won the championship, and there actually have been much bigger underdogs who ended up winning the title. But how many times have we seen a player lead his team to 6 championships in 8 years? Prior to Jordan's Bulls, only Bill Russell's Celtics ever accomplished that feat in the NBA, when they incredibly won 11 championships in 13 seasons. However, back then, there was an average of less than 10 teams in the league, and only a couple rounds of playoffs, so it was considerably easier to win a title. And no player, not even Bill Russell, ever had a run of winning 25 of 26 playoff series, as Michael Jordan did.
I don't think you should do that.
And Michael's pattern of winning goes beyond...
You should bring up the number of teams and stuff. Because I heard when like MJ was up in there, I heard that was like around the time a lot of teams had just joined the league type shit.
On the NBA, let's not forget that Jordan has never won anything but gold in the Olympics, and he also earned an NCAA championship, in which he hit the first of 2 iconic championship-winning shots in his career. All that is to say, when it comes to winning, the checkmark clearly goes to Jordan.
That's definitely true.
Yeah.
That's why I said LeBron should have won in 20. He should have won in 2011.
Yeah, 2011 he should have won.
I think he should have won in 2015 Because he was fucking the Warriors up by his
On to the fourth GOAT criteria, statistics.
I mean, his team got hurt.
This one is a bit more
But he
complicated.
was winning with Matthew Dellavedova. He won 2 games. He missed. I remember this. He missed the game winner. He missed 2 or 3 game winners versus the Warriors. He could have ended the game, and you missed.
Even in 2018, I think they got swept, but the Cavs actually
missed.
The Cavs actually was winning for more of the game, way more of the game. The Cavs was winning.
I knew it was Warriors 2018. I knew it was Chaps.
But they was winning. They was winning, and
they got swept. What you mean winning?
They was winning. If you look at the stats right now, the Cavs spent more time winning than the Warriors did.
I did not know that.
Wasn't close type shit.
I didn't know that.
So the Warriors was just going on runs. Them third quarter runs, they was just really doing that.
So they tried to come back the whole time.
Yeah.
I did not know that though.
How do you statistically evaluate 2 players who played in different eras?
Stats. It's a big one.
Sure.
Averages
how
or
do
totals?
you statistically evaluate 2 players who played in different eras under different rules at different positions? One way of doing this is to simply look at the 8 traditional statistics of basketball. Points, assists, rebounds, steals, blocks, field goal percentage, free throw percentage, and turnovers. And we'll focus on per game stats rather than cumulative stats, since cumulative stats such as total career points and total career assists really speak to longevity, which is already its own category of the GOAT analysis. Per game stats, on the other hand, is more of an apples to apples comparison. So looking at the 8 traditional stats, we see that Jordan leads LeBron in 5 of them: points per game, steals per game, blocks per game, free throw percentage, and fewer turnovers. LeBron leads in the other 3: assists per game, rebounds per game, and field goal percentage. But that's a pretty simplistic way of looking at statistics. What if we instead turn to analytics? Probably the most well-known analytic stat is player efficiency rating, or PER for short. This metric was created by respected basketball analyst John Hollinger to give an overall rating to a player's performance based on traditional stats like the ones we just mentioned. Jordan has led the league in PER 7 times, LeBron 6 times. Jordan has finished top 3 in PER 10 times, LeBron 9 times. In fact, Jordan has the highest career PER in both the regular season and the playoffs. Another popular analytic stat is win shares. Jordan has led the league in win shares 8 times, LeBron 5 times. Jordan has finished top 3 in win shares 11 times, LeBron 6 times. And when it comes to win shares per 48 minutes, Jordan has the highest career rating in both the regular season and the playoffs. What about box plus minus? Until recently, LeBron was actually ahead of Jordan in career box plus minus. But after the 2017 season gave Russell Westbrook the greatest single-season box plus minus in history by a wide margin, the architect of box plus minus realized that the stat was fundamentally flawed. So he made some changes to improve its formula. As a result, Michael Jordan now has the highest career box plus minus in both the regular season and the playoffs. And lastly, what about value over replacement player, which on its face seems to favor LeBron James? Well, value over replacement player is a cumulative stat, and as previously noted, cumulative stats speak more to longevity than they do game-to-game dominance. That said, according to value over replacement player, Jordan owns 6 of the 9 greatest individual seasons ever played. And on a per-game basis, MJ's career rating in value over replacement player is the highest of all time in both the regular season and the playoffs. Are you noticing a theme here? Not only does Jordan beat LeBron in every ratable analytic stat, he consistently ranks as the best ever across the board. Before we move on from analytics, I want to mention a lesser-known stat called game score, another brainchild of John Hollinger. Game score measures a player's performance in a single game, so it won't tell us who's had the better career, but it does provide insight into who's had the greatest games. Now, we only have game score stats since 1983, so you won't see any mentions of Wilt Chamberlain here. That said, of the 100 highest game scores ever recorded, incredibly 19 of them belong to Michael Jordan. In other words, nearly 1 out of every 5 of the best single-game performances over the last 4 decades has been by MJ. That includes the highest game score of all time for Jordan's 69.18 rebound masterpiece. Comparatively, LeBron has had only 3 of the top 100 game scores. When discussing the GOAT, Nick Wright is fond of asking this question.
The aliens come down.
You have one game to save humanity. Who's your first pick in the history of the world?
Well, Nick, I think we have our answer. Now that I've finished drowning you in numbers, let's be real. Hardly anyone watching this video knows how to calculate PER, win shares, box plus minus, value over replacement player, or game score. And why should you? This is basketball, not Goodwill Hunting. So let's go back to the traditional stats that we all know and understand. But this time, let's add context to them. What do I mean by context? Well, some positions are simply better than others at racking up certain stats. Let's take rebounding as an example. In a vacuum, if we simply compare the number of rebounds per game of Brook Lopez and Jason Kidd, we might think that Lopez was the better rebounder. The truth is, relative to their positions, Lopez is statistically one of the worst rebounding centers in NBA history, whereas Kidd is statistically one of the best rebounding guards in NBA history. But even a poor rebounding center can grab more rebounds than a great rebounding guard solely by virtue of their roles on the
This video is
court.
wild as fuck, bro.
So it makes sense that to understand the context of a player's stats, we should compare them to the respective positions that they played. When comparing LeBron James to the other small forwards who have played at least 500 NBA games, this is where he ranks. Overall, that's pretty impressive.
Wait, who he's second in points to in small forward?
KD maybe?
Wait,
500 NBA games, this is
500 NBA games.
where he ranks.
Okay, you can say KD.
Overall, that's pretty impressive. Now let's see how Jordan compares to all shooting guards who
He'll
have
be
played at
first.
least 500 NBA
Well,
games.
Kobe lead the one in assists.
As good as LeBron is compared to other small forwards, Jordan is on another level when compared to other shooting guards. He's darn near the top of every major statistical category, and there isn't a single category where LeBron is better than MJ relative to his position, other than assists. So to sum up statistics, whether comparing traditional stats or analytics, and especially when judging these players in the context of the positions they played, Jordan has a noticeable edge over LeBron. As such, we have to give the check mark to Jordan.
Statistics. His stats better, I gotta say that.
And that takes us to the last category in our GOAT analysis, the eye test.
The eye test.
And to be clear, by eye test, I don't mean which of these players is bigger, faster, or jumps higher. None of that is relevant unless we're having a track and field competition. And frankly, if physical measurables mattered, then George Murasan would be in the GOAT conversation. No, what I mean by the eye test is, if you sat an average basketball fan in front of a TV to watch a player in action, what would he notice that the player is and is not great at? Thankfully, I happen to be an average basketball fan, and I've had the privilege of watching both LeBron and Jordan during their playing days. So unlike a lot of my fellow YouTubers, I haven't merely relied on highlight videos. Here's what my eyes told me when I saw Michael Jordan play, particularly during his playing days with the Chicago Bulls. He was the best offensive player in the game, he was arguably the best defensive player in the game, he had the best mid-range game, he was the best finisher at the rim, he had the best post-up game, which is incredible considering most players who dominated the post were big men. He was widely considered the most clutch player in the game. He was regarded by opponents as the fiercest competitor on the court. He was regarded by teammates as the hardest worker in practice. And when all was said and done, amongst the other stars of his generation, he was the greatest winner. Now, when you're playing against the elite of the elite athletes of the world, to be the best at any one of those things is pretty remarkable. But to be the best at all of them?
Damn.
I tell you, it's impossible, but for the fact that we saw Michael Jordan do it. And when it comes to the GOAT debate, that's the biggest hurdle facing LeBron. He's basically being compared to a guy who was great at everything and practically had no weaknesses. Seriously, judging by the eye test, what's the worst thing we could say about Michael Jordan's game? Probably that he wasn't a very good three-point shooter. Jordan shot 33% from beyond the arc in an era when the average player also shot 33%. So when it came to three-point shooting, he wasn't good, he wasn't bad, he was just average.
What LeBron shoot from three?
I don't know, but LeBron probably shoot a lot more threes.
True.
But remember that Michael played in an age when the three-point shot wasn't a big part of the game. During Jordan's years, teams
But
averaged...
I don't want to hear that either. When he played in an era where 3-point shot wasn't a big because Bird
Yeah, I don't
shot
wanna hear that.
Bird
Yeah, that's what I'm
shot
saying.
damn near 40% from 3, and
That's
he
what I'm
played
saying.
before him. So I don't want to hear that it wasn't a big part of the game because it wasn't a big part of the game when
He
Bird
didn't want to
played.
learn it.
Yeah,
It wasn't a big part of the game.
he
when
just
Bird-
shooting him.
Bird was just knocking
didn't
him
wanna
out.
learn
shoot him.
Ain't got shit to do with
He
it.
just didn't shoot him. Like
That's what I'm
that's
saying.
your problem.
The trend ain't got nothing to do with your
Yeah.
ability to be able to
Yeah.
make a
But
Played
your
in
shot.
an
ability
age when the
can't
three-point
shoot.
shot wasn't a big part of the game. During Jordan's years, teams averaged only 9.5 three-point attempts per game, and Michael himself attempted less than 2 threes per game.
Yeah, this ain't the
And if
attempted
being
less
an
than
average
2
three-point shooter
Less
is
than
weakness
two. Less than 2?
Less than 2 threes per game.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
attempted
thing.
less than 2,
Damn.
teams averaged only 9.5 three-point attempts
You
per
don't wanna
game,
shoot.
and Michael himself attempted less
You
than
wanna
2
go in there and
threes per
dunk in
game.
your
I
head.
didn't know that.
And if
wanna go
being
in
an
there and
average
dunk in your
three-point
head.
shooter is a weakness of Michael's
It
game,
might have been
well,
higher,
then we
though, if
also
he
have to
averaged
call it a weakness of LeBron's game.
Yeah, I was about to say
The difference is that LeBron plays in an era where the three-point shot is a huge part of the game.
Yes.
During the years in which LeBron played, teams attempted on average over 21 threes per game.
probably more than
And
that.
LeBron himself averaged 4.3 three-point attempts per game, or 2.5 times as many as Jordan. Despite the increased emphasis on threes,
2.5
LeBron's
times,
career
4,
shooting
like
percentage
what?
from beyond the arc is only a hair better
You
than
don't never-
Jordan
like,
at
Jordan don't
34%.
See, that's still.
And it's actually slightly below his peers, who averaged 35% from three during his era.
Come on, you can't compare.
But to reiterate, being an average
Below
three-point
his-
shooter
below his
was
peers,
by
they show
far
KD
the
the
worst
best.
part of MJ's game.
I need
It's not
What you
even
mean,
close.
peers?
LeBron, in fact, has 4 major weaknesses as a basketball player, each of which is readily apparent to anyone who has actually watched him
Four
play.
weaknesses.
First, he's not a good free throw
Agree,
shooter.
I agree.
For his career, LeBron has shot around 73.5% from the free throw line, which is pretty poor for a player who handles the ball as much as he
I
does.
agree.
In fact, many analysts point out that at the end of games, LeBron
Free throws
shies
are
away
piss poor. You don't want him going to the line at the end of the game, bro. They piss poor.
from driving to the basket because he's afraid of being
You
seen
said what?
Yeah, I say yeah, his free throw percentage definitely ass.
Yeah.
to the line.
Him and Luka.
I don't know whether that's true, but what I do know is that the odds of LeBron hitting 2 consecutive free throws
But they
is
had OT to win the game. Just to win the game. He do that a lot. He just be breaking the bitches. Like, he could have won the game.
Statistically,
Right?
he
Harden whooped that ass this game.
He don't even
Then a
care
coin
about
flip.
the free throws.
And Harden hit
Jordan,
both of them. They fouled Harden. He went to the line and hit both.
on the other hand, shot a solid
Like a joint.
83.5%.
He lied
from
on
free
free
throw
throw.
line.
He was like, oh
Jordan,
yeah,
on
you
the
had
other
fun.
hand, shot a solid
had fun.
83.5%
He
from
put
the
eyes
free throw
closed.
line during his
This nigga be
career.
having fun at the
And
line.
MJ never shied away from contact at the end of games. LeBron's second weakness is that he's an inconsistent defender.
Alright, nah. What if Brian?
Nah, I think this guy.
Okay, I agree.
This guy.
As far as defense, you
Because-
can, and they play him in a Lakers jersey.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. They just put him in a Lakers jersey.
Yeah. And
Because
it's
if
a
you
defense.
brought up Michael Jordan in the Wizards jersey,
Yeah, that's
which
true.
dude don't want to bring it
I-
up.
Yeah, the thing is, they
I
can't.
agree. I
The
agree.
thing, I don't think Michael Jordan never did that in the
Because
league.
LeBron is a
though.
good ass defender. In his prime, LeBron
Yeah,
was a top
for sure.
defender in the league.
For sure.
Easily.
Definitely, that's what I'm
Easily.
saying.
LeBron's
Like to put him in that Lakers jersey and say defense.
Yeah,
come on,
and to
bro.
do
Come
this,
on.
to do this to LeBron right here, like,
Because
in the-
what? They haven't shown
like the
up.
thing is,
No,
he's not in his
This is
prime.
what I'm
Right?
saying. This is
No,
what
no,
I'm
the thing is right there. He's not in his
This is
prime.
what I'm saying
Yeah, I
about
know,
this
I know.
video.
You gotta
First
show
of
him in
all,
his prime what he doing.
That's
He did
first
not.
of
He
all,
not
I seen the
act like
video.
that. He did not act like that at all in his prime.
I
at
seen
all.
the video of LeBron flopping.
Yeah.
I'm seeing this video. Like
Yeah, I'm not
it's-
saying. I'm not saying.
No, it's obvious bias.
Yeah, it's
Oh, yeah,
obvious.
For sure. Oh, yeah, you could definitely tell.
It's for sure
an
bias.
inconsistent defender. Sure, he's had some years where he was elite defensively, which is evidenced by his numerous selections to the NBA's all-defensive team, but he's also had several years where
You
he's
can't keep showing the Lakers. Like, nigga, we're
The years
talking
that
about
he's talking about
prime.
is
We're talking
literally
about
the Lakers.
LeBron versus Jordan
I'm trying to
prime,
see.
and we just seen 2 Lakers.
practically been a
Fuck is this cool
liability on the
cook-ass
defensive
nigga?
end.
What are you talking
Compare
about?
that to MJ, who during his Bulls days was a consistently
During his
elite
Bulls
defender.
days.
In fact, Jordan is the only player to rank in the top 5
This is wild.
amongst all
This
guards
is
for
kinda
both
wild.
steals
He
per
was a
game
good-ass
and blocks
defender.
per game for his
Okay,
career.
okay, this
Additionally, Michael led his position in defensive win shares practically every year that he played for the Bulls, an incredible 10 times. LeBron, comparatively, has led his
Quit
position in
showing
defensive
the
win shares
Lakers,
on just
please.
4.
Like, for the people watching this, it's embarrassing for them to show the Los Angeles Lakers. He's a 38-year-old man. Okay, they just
Yeah,
showed
like-
2018. Okay, that's a 36-year-old man.
Yes.
Compared to a 27-year-old prime
Thank
MJ.
you.
Like,
Like,
and
Raj,
in 5 of his last 7 seasons, he didn't even crack the top 10 at his position in defensive win shares. Now, some will excuse LeBron's recent fall-off on the defensive end as a byproduct of his resting on defense so that he can have more
His
energy on
age,
offense.
he old.
And we can debate the merits of that strategy. But resting on defense is not something Michael Jordan was ever accused of doing. Heck, even as a 40-year-old, he was busting his tail on the defensive end.
Damn!
But what about the notion that LeBron...
Okay, if y'all gonna show Wizards, okay, we cool with that. As long as y'all show the Wizards.
Yeah, as long as y'all show
busting his tail on the defensive
end.
Get that on the Wizards.
But what about the notion that LeBron's been the more versatile defender? LeBron supporters will argue that he can guard positions 1 through 5 on the court, such as when he guarded Derrick Rose for stretches in the 2011 playoffs. But LeBron's guarding the opposing team's point guard or center isn't something that happens very often.
That's hard.
In fact, during his career, LeBron has spent less than 5% of his total minutes guarding the opposing players 1 or 5. So the versatility argument is highly exaggerated. And look, when it comes to versatility, Hometown Buffet may have a more versatile menu than Spago, and looks 1 or 5. So the versatility argument is highly exaggerated. And look, when it comes to versatility, Hometown Buffet may have a more versatile menu than Spago. That doesn't make it a better restaurant. LeBron's third weakness is that he's not a very good shooter. And this is a pretty significant flaw for someone claiming to be the GOAT. I mean, shooting the ball is the quintessential skill in the game of basketball. It's the part of the game that everyone practices, whether on the playground, at the YMCA, or in the NBA.
I can't say that.
Now, some people will contend that LeBron is actually a better shooter.
LeBron shoot higher field goal
and 3-point.
I would say field goal for his career, so you can't say he's a bad shooter.
Because he has a better career field goal percentage. And yes, LeBron's career field goal percentage is 50.4% compared to Jordan's 49.7%.
Right.
But recall what I said about placing stats into proper context. To help us understand context when it comes to shooting, allow me to introduce DeAndre Jordan and Tyson Chandler. We all know that DeAndre and Tyson were great.
They finna say his points is mostly in the paint.
Rebounders and defenders. But what if I told you that they were also 2 of the greatest shooters of all time? That would be certifiably crazy. Yet if you look at all the shooting metrics, field goal percentage, effective field goal percentage, true shooting percentage, both of these guys rank near the top in NBA history.
You realize they're both centers, though. They're both centers. They can't create their own shot. LeBron handles the basketball and shoots a high percentage. Like, we can't be...
it ain't like LeBron just coming down the court and just standing in the paint.
Hit me. Layup.
Setting screens, rolling. Just alley-oop.
Like, we just can't be biased. He averaged 27 points per game for his career as a person who handles the ball, shooting 50% from the field.
There's an obvious reason for that. As we all know, both DeAndre Jordan and Tyson Chandler take a lot of their shot attempts on dunks, layups, and putbacks, which are extremely high percentage shots.
They don't create their own shots.
Well, guess what? So does LeBron James. In fact, every single year of his career, the shot that LeBron James has taken the most has been within 0 to 3 feet from the basket. In other words, dunks, layups, and putbacks. More than one of
every... So he averaged 27 points per game off putbacks. Man, get the fuck out of here. If LeBron James averaged 27 points per game off a putback dunks.
That's what everybody... Fuck it. If I want to go to the league, I just need to practice putbacks.
Dude, come on. It's the bias. It's bias.
Each of LeBron's shots has been within this point-blank range, which is aided by his playing in an era where it's been relatively easy to get to the rim, particularly when compared to the physical era in which Jordan played. And just like every other player, LeBron is really effective from 0 to 3 feet, hitting over 73% of these shots. But how does LeBron fare from outside this range? According to basketballreference.com, LeBron's shooting percentage from outside 3 feet is 37.5%. It's even poorer in the playoffs where he shoots 35.9%. And it gets even worse in close and late situations. In the last 2 minutes of games where the score is within 5 points, LeBron hits only 31.7% of his jumpers. Look, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that these numbers aren't very good, which is probably why in the 2013 finals, the Spurs' defensive strategy against the Heat was to basically dare LeBron James to shoot. And keep in mind, this was against LeBron in his prime. Can you imagine an opposing coach using a similar strategy against MJ? Now, LeBron actually credits the Spurs for forcing him to work on his jump shot, but it's not as if his results have gotten much better since then. Here's LeBron's shooting percentage from outside 3 feet over the last 6 years. Yikes. Well, I'll give him this. He is consistent. For comparison, consider
this nigga crazy. He said, he is consistent.
He is consistent.
Nah, bro.
For comparison, consider that in the last year of Michael Jordan's career, as an aging player on the Washington Wizards, Jordan shot close to 42% from outside 3 feet. While that's certainly
From
not
outside
great,
3 feet,
it means
outside
that even
3
as a
feet.
40-year-old shell of his former self, Jordan was still a better shooter, a far better shooter than LeBron James. Unfortunately, Basketball Reference doesn't have advanced shooting metrics from Michael's Bulls days, when he was a significantly more efficient scorer. But few would argue that Michael was anything but a lethal jump shooter when he was wearing red and black. When it comes to shooting, all of us can recall practicing shots on the blacktop, counting down 3, 2, 1 before launching a shot at the rim. Well, if you were pretending to be LeBron James, you'd brick almost 2/3 of the time. Actually,
wait. Now he capping.
Bro. Why is he actually
LeBron
trolling him now?
LeBron got more game winners.
No, I said I ain't got the most game winners.
Yeah,
I think it's
yeah.
percentage lower, but he definitely got the most.
Nah, I think he got a higher percentage too.
Right?
I think he got a higher percentage and he made more.
almost 2/3 of the time. Actually, that's not entirely true. If you were playing against a countdown, it would be much, much worse.
Yeah, it's kind of wild.
That is actually hilarious.
Yeah, after that Terry went on in 2018, shit just...
Bro, this is actually hilarious, though.
And that gets me to the last major weakness of LeBron's game. His performance, or more accurately, lack of performance, in the clutch. Remember when people were praising LeBron for making a couple of buzzer beaters in the playoffs 2 years ago? They used these stats to claim that LeBron was better in the clutch than Jordan. But look at these numbers carefully. What stands out to you? How about this? People were using a sample size of less than one shot per season to make the case that LeBron is more clutch than Jordan.
Not East to play.
That would be the equivalent of polling just 100 people in the country to try to predict the winner of the next presidential election. So let's use more telling stats, shall we? Here's a situation that's often used to determine a player's clutchness. 5 seconds to go in the fourth quarter or overtime, and your team needs a bucket to either win.
By using 100 votes or something to determine the next president.
5 seconds to go in the fourth quarter or overtime, and your team needs a bucket to either win or tie the game. It answers the age-old question, who do you want taking the last shot with the game on the line? It turns out that in the regular season and playoffs combined, LeBron has taken 94 such shots. That's pretty...
It's 4 people. I said this in a video I made. It's 4 people that I'm taking for my last shot.
Michael Jordan or Kobe, that's it.
Kobe, Michael Jordan. I got Bird and KD. 4 of those niggas for the last shot with 1 second left. I'm going to think it's going in. I'm going to literally think if it's ball in the air like
I got
this.
Kobe.
Huh?
I got Kobe and Michael Jordan.
I got Kobe, MJ, Bird, and KD.
Good sample size.
But number 1 is Kobe.
And how many of those 94 shots has LeBron made? 19.
Yes, no
for a shooting percentage of 20%.
I don't really fuck with them other
Let me repeat that.
Kobe.
20.
Wait, what they just say?
LeBron made 19.
Wait, what they just say about
And how many of those 94 shots has LeBron made? 19. For a shooting percentage of 20%.
He do miss a lot too.
Let me repeat that. 20%. Guys, that's not bad in the clutch. That's atrocious. Michael Jordan in the same situation shot roughly 50%.
That's crazy though.
Yes, that's right. Jordan's performance under pressure was the same as it was throughout the rest of the game. And that, my friends, is the definition of clutch. So there you go. When it comes to the eye test, our eyes tell us that one player, Michael Jordan, is great at everything and has practically no weaknesses. And the other player, LeBron James, while also having a ton of strengths, has several obvious flaws to his game. And when all is said and done, after analyzing the 5 key factors of being the GOAT, Jordan gets 4 check marks to LeBron's 1, making this GOAT debate, well, not much of a debate at all. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that.
Stop showing this nigga in the Lakers jersey, bro.
No, it's getting crazy.
Mad as
it's
fuck.
actually getting crazy.
Because we compare.
You have not seen one. No.
Like, we have not seen. I done seen multiple times this nigga in the Lakers jersey, bro.
We see the Cavs.
No.
I'm not gonna click it. They're like in needs.
Can we stop being biased?
When the last time we seen him in the Cavs jersey? Let's see the last time we seen him.
To show this man in a Lakers jersey gotta be the wildest
No.
thing.
Just the simple fact that we're seeing multiple negative LeBron moments and we have not seen
one single. I haven't seen one single
bad
Michael Jordan moment.
I mean, like, you could at least show him getting hit up by Allen Iverson or something. Like, this just been oh, let me get on him.
Yeah,
Just ride
I don't know
him.
when the last time I seen
Goddamn,
him.
get that
James
old
is a
bald
bad
head
player.
man a break.
He's a phenomenal
Dick riding.
player. Personally, I have him on basketball's Mount Rushmore,
I mean, you
along
have
with
to.
Jordan, Kareem, Wilt Chamberlain, and Bill Russell. He's just not Michael Jordan. And just to underscore how good
Dead
MJ
ass.
was,
No, dead
let's
ass.
ignore
Pause.
LeBron and Jordan.
Dead ass. That's the 5 best.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie.
That's the 5 best players ever.
What you mean? There's 3 of them up there.
3 of them are
three
up
of
there.
them
They on
up
the left side.
Oh,
The
yeah.
fuck? Don't ever put Bill Russell or Wilt Chamberlain in the fucking top 5, bro.
Yeah, I agree.
You've lost your mind.
I agree. 'Cause
Yeah,
you
they
just-
didn't do as much.
You've lost
I guess
Magic
Wilt Chamberlain
Johnson.
got 100 points.
Kobe Bryant, Shaq,
I say you got
Larry Bird, Tim Duncan.
It's a lot of people you can put up there.
It's no
For a minute
way.
and
It's
focus
no
on
way.
the other 3
I can see
players
why I put
highlighted
Wilt,
here: Kareem, Wilt, and Bill Russell.
Nah,
Most
Wilt
would agree
never
that
won.
these are the 3 greatest centers in NBA history, and each of them has a strong case to justify
title?
his standing among basketball
He got
royalty.
one.
I think I got
Wilt is an all-time great because he was an offensive force of nature, and he holds a ton of NBA records. Russell is in the conversation because he was a dominant defender and a perennial champion. Kareem also led his team to numerous titles, and in terms of individual awards and accolades, was the most decorated of the 3. Not to mention, he had the NBA's most unguardable shot.
Hook.
Now imagine a center that had all the best qualities from these 3 titans. A player like that would be the basketball equivalent of Thanos. Now add to that player the highest level of intangible attributes, such as a tireless work ethic, unmatched killer instinct,
Put it in
and
Jordan.
an ability to deliver in the clutch. And now you'd essentially be looking at Thanos with all of the Infinity Stones. And no one would question whether this player was the greatest of all time. But the truth is, we don't have to imagine such a player. That player already existed. He just happened to be a shooting guard, not a center.
MJ dick got hurt.
When you
It
think
has to-
about
it
it,
gotta-
Michael
it has to
Jordan is
hurt.
the
It's about ready
real-life
to fall
version
off.
of an overpowered video
It has
game
to be ready to
character.
fall off.
He
Like,
had
break
all
off
the
Vinny.
qualities we look
They're gonna
for in a
break off
superstar
Vinny.
athlete.
Bro,
And he
I
had
broke
it
off
in
Vinny.
Wow, like
spades.
when MJ
He's
died, he's
basically
probably gonna
Babe
take it with him
Ruth.
for real.
If Babe Ruth played defense like Willie Mays. And that's why, even in
He might kill
comparison to
himself,
the
take
other
it.
all-time greats, he is truly in a class of his own. Simply put, he's the GOAT.
So this wasn't a Jordan versus LeBron.
It's gotta hurt, bro.
Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan! I seen that move already. You already showed this one. You just see that one? You see that one.
Damn, that's tough. That's a tough dunk. That's tough.
It was definitely close.
Yeah, he's good. I ain't gonna lie. This nigga is great. Like, it's no way. There's no way holding him. You can't hold this nigga. It's nothing. I ain't gonna cap.
That's nasty.
I didn't expect that.
Like, I ain't gonna cap. Like, he's good, but it's. But you shouldn't have MJ dick that much in your dick. He got it all in his butt. Like,
Yeah, I got MJ1, but the amount of shit that he was saying was
like, you
crazy.
gotta stop because he didn't even show LeBron and his other jerseys. I done seen none
Yeah, I
of
ain't
the greatest
seen- I
highlights.
ain't seen a
I
lot
done
of
seen the
heat.
LeBron and D-Wade. I done seen none of the stuff.
Thanks for watching.
Definitely, I done see
Also-
a lot of heat. I ain't see much heat stuff.
I ain't seen none of it.
Man, no cap. That video 40.
Like, what about the teamwork and stuff? I ain't seen no,
It'd be
like,
3 in my books.
Jordan be number 3. Who got better resumes than him? 2 other people.
who?
He said he got Jordan at 3.
I think LeBron and Kobe do.
Kobe got a better resume than Michael Jordan.
I would definitely think Kobe Bryant is better than Michael Jordan.
Y'all let us know what y'all think in the comment section. Let us know who y'all think to GOAT. Michael Jordan or LeBron James. Michael Jordan or
He just
LeBron.
bad though. Why he did that?
What?
He did that in the video.
Who?
You know, I don't think Kobe better than Michael Jordan.
I don't think he is.
I do.
I mean, he right there though.
Like I don't.
I don't got no other nigga better
Like,
than
I
Kobe.
got-
after that.
The thing is, like Kobe, my best player ever. Like y'all know that, but
Yeah.
I don't
No, I
think
think
he's
he's
better than
definitely
Michael
better
Jordan.
than Michael Jordan.
I don't think he's
Yeesh, that's a hard one, buddy.
Yeah. But I'm the only 2 niggas that I won't take in my last shot. If I want the last shot, LeBron,
Yeah.
give them the ball. That's what I tell LeBron.
LeBron gives them the ball.
Like, dead ass. Like, them the real hoopers. These
Yeah.
the hoopers. Like,
Yeah,
LeBron
like,
James,
like-
these the hoopers.
Ain't gonna like you the businessman Hooper. Them
Like, come on now. LeBron know to get that shit up. If it's the last shot of the game,
Yeah, he know to give that up.
Give that shit
I ain't
up.
gonna lie, he gave it to Ray Allen. He done gave it already. He done gave it up already.
Give that shit up.
He gave it up to Kyrie. He already gave it. He done learned. The things he learned.
Oh yeah, for
He
sure.
like, hell no.
Like, you got niggas who proven to knock down a shot. Come on now.
Yeah, but that nigga LeBron is something different.
Yeah, LeBron definitely different. Like for my first three quarters,
Shooting
LeBron the best player
shooting
for the
don't
first three
form
quarters.
don't form you. That's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
shooting don't form you.
Definitely.
And I don't like how he bashed his name off shooting and stuff like that. Like
Definitely.
and keep showing like flukes, him flopping and
Yeah.
stuff. Like he literally showing him flopping in the beginning of the doggone video.
Definitely. So
Yeah,
that's why Shaq Arianas will never be able to be the best though, because they can't. They're not finna hit no game winner. Clutch, you have to be clutch to be the GOAT, bro. I'm sorry.
But out of them three, the clutchest one to me,
Jordan, you gotta go Jordan.
it gotta be Jordan.
Because you think that bitch going in. If it leave his hands, you like, fuck.
That bitch going in here.
Like,
Remember
the Jordan rules? Damn, we let this nigga get off the ground.
Yeah, if you let him get off the ground, it's chops.
So, I don't know. Y'all let us know what y'all think in the comment section, man. Make sure y'all like this video if y'all enjoy. Subscribe to the channel if y'all new, man. It's Real Talk TV.